Yes, welcome back. I'm laying in my bed and I start to get tired, so I'm not getting up. I just read this architecture of Windows 9X. So next is Windows ME Millennium Edition. Let's start. It's 6:10 p.m. and but now I need to get off my bed anyway because I have a Danish video. It's 6:10 p.m. and I start to get tired. Let's drink some juice or cola, but let's put my Danish video public. Yes, I have to add it to my playlists. Good. So Windows made this Windows 95 and Windows 98. I think there was something that it sold. Windows 98 was sold like 60 million copies. So Microsoft made a mountain, many thousand of millions dollars. They made a mountain of money. Then they spent some of tiny part of the money to develop more better operating systems, OS like Windows Millennium Edition, but this edition was very short, like only like this 2 years, 1 year, 2 years. Then Windows XP was out in year 2001, I think. So I don't think I got a computer like year 2000 or 2001. I got my first computer, but I think it was Windows 98 I got, or could be Windows XP. Could be Windows XP. Or it was so old, Windows 98. I not remember. I think it was Windows XP. It's the original Windows operating system, but the last place I was living close to here 10 years, somebody did help me to upgrade the Microsoft operating systems to a newer one. I think it was could be XP. I not remember, so many years ago. So Microsoft made many thousand of millions on the Windows 8. So of course they get so much crazy number of money. So this is how Microsoft got so super rich. But now Microsoft they make all kind of programs. They're not only making the Windows operating systems. They're making all kind of computer games and all kind of stuff. But they did not do that in the old days before year 2000. But today they're making all kind of computer games and business software and office Yes, I would like to. I need a minute to do myself ready. And drink my juice. So let's read this. That's the final PDF for today because I start to get tired and I'm freezing a little bit.
Windows Me. Windows Millennium Edition, Me, version of the Windows 9X operating system Microsoft Windows Millennium Edition logo.svg. Windows ME.png. Windows Me Desktop, including taskbar and shortcuts developer Microsoft Source Model closed source released to manufacturing June 19, 2000 General availability September 14, 2001. Final release 4.90.3000 / September 14, 2002. Marketing target consumer platforms Year 32 kernel type monolithic kernel essence proprietary software preceded by Windows 98, 1998, succeeded by Windows XP, 2001. 3. Official website Microsoft Windows Me Home at the Wayback Machine, archived September 2, 2000. Support status mainstream support ended. On December 31, 2003 extended support ended on the 11th of July, 2006. 4. Windows Millennium Edition, or Windows Me, marketed with the pronunciation of the pronoun me. 5. Is an operating system developed by Microsoft as part of its Windows 9X family of Microsoft Windows operating systems. It is the successor to Windows 98, and was released to manufacturing on the 19th of June, 2000, and then to retail on the 14th of September, 2000. It was Microsoft's main operating system for home users until the introduction of its successor Windows XP in October 2001. 6. Windows Me was targeted specifically at home PC users, and included Internet Explorer 5.5. Later default was Internet Explorer 6, Windows Media Player 7, later default was Windows Media Player 9 series, and the new Windows Movie Maker software, which provided basic video editing and was designed to be easy to use for consumers. 7. Microsoft also incorporated features first introduced in Windows 2000, which had been released as a business-oriented operating system 7 months earlier, into the graphical user interface, Shell and Windows Explorer. Although Windows Me was still ultimately based around MS-DOS like its predecessors, access to real mode DOS was restricted to decrease system boot time. 8. Windows Me was initially positively received when it was released, but it soon garnered a negative reception from many users due to stability problems. Windows Me is now infamously known by many as one of the worst operating systems Microsoft has ever produced, being unfavorably compared with its immediate predecessor, Windows 98, several years before. In October 2001, Windows XP was released to the public, having already been under development at the time of Windows Me's release, 9, and popularized most of Windows Me's features, while being far more stable because of it being based on the Windows NT kernel. After the release of Windows XP in 2001, mainstream support for Windows Me ended on December 31, 2003, followed by extended support on the 11th of July, 2006. 10. Contents. Development release. New and updated features user interface. Hardware support improvements. Digital media. Networking technologies. System utilities. Accessibility features. Removed features real mode DOS. Other components. Upgradability. System requirements limitations. Support life cycle. Reception. References. External links. Development. At the 1998 Windows Hardware Engineering Conference, Microsoft CEO Bill Gates stated that Windows 98 would be the last iteration of Windows to use the Windows 9X kernel, with the intention for the next consumer-focused version to be based on the Windows NT kernel, unifying the two branches of Windows. However, it soon became apparent that the development work involved was too great to meet the aim of releasing before the end of 2000, particularly given the ongoing parallel work on the eventually cancelled Neptune project. The consumer Windows development team was therefore retasked with improving Windows 98 while porting some of the look and feel from Windows 2000. Microsoft President Steve Ballmer publicly announced these changes at the next Windows hike in 1999.11. On the 23rd of July 1999, the first alpha version of Windows ME was released to testers. Called Development Preview 1, it was very similar to Windows 98 SE, with a very early iteration of the new help and support feature as the only major change. 3 more development previews were released over the subsequent 2 months. 11. The first beta version was released to testers and the industry press on the 24th of September 1999, with the second coming on November 24 that year. Beta 2 showed the first real changes from Windows 98, including importing much of the look and feel from Windows 2000, and the removal of real mode DOS. Industry expert Paul Thurrott reviewed Beta 2 upon release and spoke positively of it in a review. 12. By early 2000, Windows ME was reportedly behind schedule, and an interim build containing the new automatic update feature was released to allay concerns about a delayed release. In February 2000, Paul Thurrott revealed that Microsoft had planned to exclude Windows ME, as well as new releases of Windows NT 4.0, from CD shipments for MSDN subscribers. The reason given in the case of ME was that the OS was designed for consumers. However, Thurrott alleged that the real motivation behind both cases to force software developers to move to Windows 2000.13. 3 days later, following a write-in and call-in campaign by hundreds of readers, Microsoft announced that Windows ME, including development versions, would ship to MSDN subscribers after all. Microsoft also apologized personally to Thurrott, claiming he received misinformation, though in a follow-up article he stated that it was clear that the decision actually changed. 14. Beta 3 was released on the 11th of April, 2000, and this version marked the first appearance of its final startup and shutdown sounds derived from Windows 2000, as the previous betas used Windows 98's startup and shutdown sounds. 15. Release. Although Microsoft signed off on the final build of Windows ME on the 28th of June, 2000, after trialing 3 release candidate builds with testers, the final retail release was pushed back to the 14th of September for reasons that were not clear. 11. Shortly after Windows ME was released to manufacturing on the 19th of June, 2016, Microsoft launched a marketing campaign to promote it in the US, which they dubbed the Meet Me Tour. A national partnered promotional program featured the new OS OEMs and other partners in an interactive multimedia attraction in 25 cities. 17. Windows ME was released for retail sale on the 14th of September, 2000. 7. At launch time, Microsoft announced a time-limited promotion from September 2000 to January 2001 which entitled Windows 98 and Windows 98 SE users to upgrade to Windows ME for $59.95 instead of the regular retail upgrade price of $109. Non-upgrade versions cost $209. the same as Windows 98 on its release. 18. In October 2001, Microsoft released Windows XP, which also included the zip folders, the Spider Solitaire Gaming and Internet Explorer 6 by default. New and updated features. User interface. Windows Me featured the shell enhancements inherited from Windows 2000, such as personalized menus, customizable Windows Explorer toolbars, autocomplete in Windows Explorer address bar and run box, Windows 2000 advanced file type association features, displaying comments in shortcuts as tooltips, extensible columns in details view, iColumn provider interface, icon overlays, integrated search pane in Windows Explorer, sort by name function for menus, places bar in common dialogues for open and save, cascading start menu special folders, some plus 95 and plus 98 themes, and updated graphics. The notification area in Windows Me and later supported 16-bit high-color icons. The multimedia control panel was also updated from Windows 98. Taskbar and start menu options allowed disabling of the drag and drop feature and could prevent moving or sizing the taskbar, which was easier for new users. Hardware support improvements. Faster boot times. Windows Me features numerous improvements for improving cold boot time, pre- and post-logon boot times and time required for resuming from hibernation. 19. Processing of real mode configuration files. Config.system and autoexec.bat is bypassed at startup, and essential real mode drivers like HIMEM.system and smartdrive.exe are embedded into IO.system. 19. The registry is loaded only once, for efficient loading. The registry is split into 3 files instead of 2, system.that and user.that. With the new file classes .that containing the contents of the hivekey classes root required for boot loaded initially. 19. Plug and play device enumeration is more parallelized than in Windows 98. 19. Boot time is not affected due to unavailability of a DHCP server or other network components. 19. There are also optimizations to prevent boot slowdown due to BIOS post operations. 19. USB Human Interface Device Class. Generic support for 5-button mice is also included as standard. 20. And installing IntelliPoint allows reassigning the programmable buttons. 21. Windows Image Acquisition. Windows Me introduced the Windows Image Acquisition API for a standardized method of allowing Windows applications to transparently and more easily communicate with image acquisition devices, such as digital cameras and scanners. WIA intended to improve the configuration and user interface for interacting with scanners and such devices, which were previously supported by the TWA standard, and simplify writing device drivers for developers. WIA also includes support for USB still image capture device classes such as scanners and cameras through the Picture Transfer Protocol. 22. Improved power management and suspend forward/resume operations. The OEM version of Windows Me supports SOS controlled ACP-S4 sleep state, 23, hibernation, and other power management features without manufacturer-supplied drivers. 24. USB and FireWire support improvements. Windows Me is the only operating system in the Windows 9X series that includes generic drivers for USB mass storage devices. 25. And USB printers. 26. Support for FireWire SBP2 scanners and storage devices is also improved. 27. The Waveout, Direct Sound, and Direct Show APIs support non-PCM formats such as AC3 or WMA overs /PDIF. 28. Digital Media. Windows Movie Maker. This utility is based on DirectShow and Windows Media Technologies to provide Microsoft Windows computer systems with basic video capture and edit capabilities. It provides users with the ability to capture, edit, and re-edit